What's up, guys? Welcome back. So last episode we had put all the suspension in the car. Everything looked good, and you'll notice like I changed several times throughout it. I actually filmed it over a couple of different instances, a couple of different days. We were working on the car. I helped my buddy get his car going, and then I got my car finished, everything like that. So there's some weird transitions in there. Bear with me. Today we're gonna work on something new. So finally, for the first time in probably 3 years, my wife and I had an opportunity to go on a date and go out for a little bit for drinks. So we did. Took the car, because I think my wife's ridden in the Supra like 3 times, maybe 4 times. We left just fine. We got to our destination just fine. We sat inside. We were probably there for an hour, and we went to leave, and the car wouldn't start. Crank, no start. So I was cranking. I was checking everything. I've had it happen before. It was the starter. The starter's brand new. It was the battery. The battery's brand new. And it just wouldn't start. Probably 15 minutes sitting out in the cold, cranking it, and then it finally started. Okay, so I thought, well, maybe the battery's low. So I came home. I put it on the charger. I just came out today. It's not starting. So this is what's happening. Let's take a look. I know y'all think I'm fucking crazy right now. Okay. So I know y'all think I'm crazy right now, but the car wouldn't fucking start. It just did. That's good. This is happy news. However, when it was not starting, when it was crank no start, I started doing some research, going on all the forums, and I don't know if who here has been around in the days of Supra forums, but that is your trial by fire. If you've never been a part of Supra forums, like back in the day, I'm talking like 2010 back in the day, you have never been hazed or beaten or demoralized so much to the point that you want to sell your Supra more than you had if you were on Supra forums and you asked a question without searching first. So I didn't use, well, number one, Supra forums is dead. Number two, I did my research, right? I went and looked, okay, what's going on? This is the issue, crank no start, 1JZ. Well, of course you have to have 3 things. Yeah, you've got to have fuel, spark, air. Right? I know I got air. I got my intake is good. Fuel pressures should be good. I mean, I'm sure the fuel filter is relatively old. The fuel pump may be old. There's definitely some things that we were going to check on. Spark, well, let me see. I've had the car about 2 years, and I don't think I've changed the spark plugs yet. That's probably a pretty big indicator. So we're going to do that. Even though the car just started, we're going to change the spark plugs because it has been 2 years, at least. I might have changed them when I got the car, but I honestly can't remember back that far. I have a log of everything I've done to the car, and I just looked at it, and I didn't write down that I had changed the spark plugs. First thing I have was back in March of 2020 was when I did an oil change. Okay, so that's about time. Now I've done stuff since then, mind you, several oil changes, several other maintenance things. That's not the only thing I've done. That was just the very first one I have logged. So I don't have spark plug change on there. So we're going to change the spark plugs. Okay, so on a 1JZ, you will most likely have your plug cover here, right? It's going to take a couple of Allen keys. You should have a total of 8. I don't have the 2 rear, so I only have the 6. This is what you're going to start by taking off. You're going to take off all 6 or 8 of these bolts from here. And just so you guys have a close-up, this is what I'm talking about. You've got 2 right here, 2 right there, 2 right there, and then 2 all the way in the back there. Take those out. you put that somewhere out of the way where it's safe. It's not going to get damaged or hurt or anything, because that little plastic piece there probably running at least $100 if you go with a factory like plastic one. You go with something aftermarket, you're looking at double. Keep track of it, keep it safe. It's a good time to clean it up. You can touch with the paint. That's what I did. That's why I think I may have done the plugs, because I have I took that off and I cleaned it up and painted it, but I may have just painted it just to make the engine bay look nicer. So from here, you should have on your 1JZ coil packs. Now I believe they're like Lexus coil packs. You can use those. I think 2JZ coil packs work on them, but either way, you're gonna have 3 set of 2 coil packs. This is what we're talking about. So you got the one right there, you got the one in the middle, and you got the one in the back. Now those are going to have 2 10mm bolts on either end at the front and the back that hold them in place. So what I'm talking about is one right there, and then one back there, and so on. There's the one there, and the other one's there, and then you have that little breather valve there, oil valve, in the middle. So, take those out, don't lose your hardware, and then you're going to pull your coil packs out. So once you have all of your coil packs, the bolts taken out, you're just going to take coil packs. So you're going to make sure that you get the wires out of the way. You don't want to yank anything out. You're just going to gently kind of wiggle it till it pulls out. Looks like that. And you can see these are a little bit old, a little bit dirty. Something that could be replaced, but it's probably okay. So your spark plugs are way down in the well there. So we'll take a look at that. Alright, so you got your coil pack out of the way, and you can see way down in there, here's your 2 spark plugs. Now those are your typical spark plug size. Should be a 5/8. That's what I have here. That's what we're going to use. That's what should fit your spark plugs. You don't need any fancy tools. You just need a spark plug socket that has a little rubber grommet inside to hold on to them so you don't lose them. Yeah, that's pretty dirty. Definitely time to change these out. Between spark plugs, make sure you still got your little rubber grommet in there. Otherwise, if you get your spark plug loose and then you drop it, well, you gotta reach down in there and try and grab it. So make sure your little rubber grommet's in there so it holds on to it. Yeah, that one's pretty gross too. I gotta get down there and clean it. That's probably what was going on. What? get you a fistful of dirty, black, old, maybe not necessarily fouled, but old spark plugs. Now, can you run on these? Like, yeah, they're running, the car's been driving and all that, but is that probably what was going on with the crank no start? Possibly. So you can take these out. You can take your coil out, plug your plugs in, and you can do your spark test, your normal spark test, just like you normally would with any other car. But because these things only run like $6 a piece, $7 a piece for like, you know, decent, these are NGKs, Iridiums, like they're nice. We'll just get some new ones, it's no big deal. So, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I got the spark plugs. I got the same ones, Iridium and NGK, Iridium type spark plugs, just because that's what was in the car was running good. We're just going to stick with the same ones. Now, pretty familiar with buying spark plugs, you'll know that they all vary in price. These are up there amongst the most expensive. This is $65 worth of spark plugs. There's only 6, or about $10.99 a piece. You don't necessarily have to get super good NGK, Iridium, IX plugs. I'm not sponsored or anything. NGK hit me up. It's just a matter of this is what I was using, this is what works, the twin-turbo car, I wanted to get better spark plugs just because they work better. So, you know, do what works best for you. But this is about $65 worth of spark plugs just for the 6, or about $10.99 a piece. You can get some that run a little bit lower. Again, if you're doing a budget build, they do have spark plugs for like $4 and $5 and $6 a piece. And they're not, you know, crazy. If you have an NA car, you can get bottom of the line, whatever OEM, Walmart brand, whatever spark plugs are available that you can get, and that'll work. Alright, so we're going to take our plugs. They should be pre-gapped to the recommended settings, but if you have a gapping tool, double check, make sure that that's the case. Make sure you got your spark plug socket, and just start putting them all back. So I'm saying about that little rubber grommet, it's stiff, but it's helpful, but we gotta make sure we get it off of the spark plug. So you don't really want them more than just hand tight. You're gonna put them in, not gonna man grip it and go caveman on it. You're just gonna be real easy and just make sure that it's not loose. You don't want them stuck in there, and you definitely don't want to break one off in the head. You're gonna have a bad time. So once you get your plugs back in, take your coil pack, fit it back in place. Once you know it's on there nice and snug, put your bolts back in to hold it in. That's that. Rinse and repeat with your other 2 sets. Two more down. I'm going to finish this last set, and I'll be right back. Okay, so once the plugs are back... What's up?
I need you.
Okay.
Have to go get this thing.
I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Alright, where was I? Oh, yes. Put your bolts back in to the hold your coil packs in place. 10mm, 2 each, should have a total of 6. Hopefully you put your bolts somewhere that you would not lose them, you know where they are. That way everything can go back, because we don't want to lose the hardware. This is another situation where if you don't have a torque spec, it's just hand tight. Nothing crazy. Next, we're going to put on the valley cover. Anytime you're putting on something that has this many bolts in like a square, rectangle, whatever, I typically remember doing the cross thread pattern, much like with a rim. So corner, 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 then the middle. But you can do front to back, back to front, either way. That should be it. Moment of truth. We're to see if she starts up. Now it's a cold day. So anyone familiar with cold starts will know the struggle that we may encounter. But because we were presented with the crank no start before, oh yeah, wrench. We'll see if this fixes it. So we can assume because it's a cold day, because the car hasn't been started in a couple of days, if the crank no start were still an issue, we would probably see it today. So we're about to find out. There we go. Told you guys I wasn't crazy. Okay, so we've checked the spark plugs. We've replaced them, right? They look good. So the other things to check are going to be your air, and your fuel. Now, you have an igniter on the, I think the Mark III in general, not necessarily just the 1JZ. I did look at that. That seems to be okay, but without actually being able to like pull it out, like test it or try another one, you know, it's best guessed that that is truly the issue. So the next thing we're going to check is we're going to look for fuel. Okay, it's a little bit chilly, so I'll put a beanie on. So we're checking for fuel next, right? So you can check, there should be a hose on the driver's side, whatever necessarily that means for you in your car, where the hard line meets the soft line, and that's, you know, for your fuel. That's your fuel line. So you can check there, disconnect that line, and see if fuel squirts out of it. I'm gonna check the actual fuel pump in the back, and we're gonna check and see if there's anything going on with that. The fuel filter, now that's a fun one. That's actually under the car, above the diff. So you've got a couple options. You can drop the diff, or if you can get up there and finagle it, you might be able to check the filter up there. But supposedly, the filters are supposed to last the life of the car. Allegedly. So we'll take a look. We're going to check the pump first. Let's see what that looks like. I'll kind of show you where that's at. I don't really understand, but it started. Can't complain. Look at that back pressure. That's good. And it's cold. See, cold start. I don't know. Let's go turn the car off. Let's discuss. We're gonna turn the timer back on. We're gonna pull all that out of there. All right, so it might have been the spark plugs, and they just needed a second to cycle. I tried to crank it, 2-3 times. Didn't do anything. I haven't done anything actually since then. I've checked with a couple of the connection, fiddled with them, just make sure that everything was tight as far as like with the immobilizers, nothing loose, anything like that. Can't find anything here. So I'm going to continue to diagnose, but crank no start, fuel, air, spark. Make sure you have those three. You're going to narrow down everything from there, and that's going to be your, you know, that's really going to be what does it to get you up and running again. So hopefully it was just the spark plugs with these. I'm going to write that down on my log. We're going to probably check the fuel filter at some point, but we're gonna wrap this one up for today. The car did start. I'll probably come back out, I'll let it cool off, get cold again, chilly day, and I'll come back out in a little bit and we'll try and start it and we'll see what it does, and we'll go from there. But for now, I mean, it's started. I don't necessarily know that I'd call it running, but it definitely started. So appreciate you guys sticking along with me. If you like my content, leave me a comment, tell me how I'm doing. You can subscribe. I always appreciate that. It's free to you, means the world to me. Hit that subscribe button, punch that like button. We like it. But thank you guys for sticking around, for bearing with me, for coming on this journey that is a 30-year-old Supra. It was a good time. We're going to celebrate the birthday I think in December is like when it rolled off the lot. So we're gonna have a birthday for Belle. This is Belle, by the way. Belle, say hi. She's shy, clearly. But thanks, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Sneak peek. Ha! I got more coming later today. That's for another video. Shh.